Hey there, I'm Cadence Kidwell here at Fuzzy Goat. Thank you so much for the comments about what keeps you from finding the right yarn for the right project. In the last video, I talked about just that and how I discovered in doing the right pattern search and in local yarn shops. Like you, I'm sure knitting has helped me get through many rough times in life, and we don't want finding the project to be what's rough also. My story might be a little like yours. For me, I had some pretty rocky times when my elderly mom came to live with us and then abruptly moved again. I didn't feel like I was being a good person, much less a good daughter. And what gave me some joy, some confidence, some ease through the rocky times was my knitting project in a gloriously happy color. Knowing that someone had hand-dyed my yarn, moving through my fingers made me feel more aligned with my values, and I found a lot of pleasure in a pattern that provided enough of a challenge that I could get lost in it a little bit each night. Knitting truly helped me get through many dark times, and I hear the same from you all the time. I've spent more than 30 years and 10 years knitting and 10 years owning a yarn shop. I've helped thousands of people find the right pattern for their skill and the right indie dyer to go with that pattern. When I opened the shop, I often say I didn't know that a large part of our mission would become telling mostly women that it's okay to ask for help. We don't ask for help. And that it's okay to start over. And that it's okay to have it be good enough. Our fuzzy fans tell us all the time that they enjoy that we tell them that it's good enough. I wish all knitters and crocheters did was give themselves permission to make the pattern work for you and that it's okay to start over. I do it on almost every project for one reason or another. I ripped one out last night. I started a hat, did the color work, the needle's too tight. I'm starting again. Our number one comment on our weekly lives is about how they love that we give them permission to start over. So I've got 3 questions to ask to have you ask yourself when deciding that. 1, is this going to bother me a few more inches in? Am I going to think about it every time I wear it? And if the answers are yes, then start over. You'll be glad. This is a perfect example. In fact, when I just put it on to sit down to talk to you, I was just thinking about how it was going to go with my shirt. But then it's actually, I could probably put on any project in the shop and I could tell you about it. This one, I made my own in that I knew I wanted to wear this Joji Locatelli Virginia top over this particular shirt, and the armholes are rather deep, more than some of my other shirts. So I had to make the armholes deeper on my pattern. So I had to finagle that a little bit. It has these super sweet little baubles on it that you can maybe see right here. They're a little time consuming. They're lovely. I love them on the front. I decided I'm not going to do those on the back. Who's going to see them on the back? I don't even know if anybody but me sees them on the front, and I'm not going to enjoy them on the back, so I left them out. Also, I finished the whole thing, and it wasn't quite long enough for me. So I ripped out my bind off, and I added another 1.5 inches. Make it your own. I find that when I use yarn that I love, it's not so disappointing if I need to start over. But the answer to my questions before, remember, is it going to bother me a few more inches in? My hat was going to bother me. Am I going to think about it every time I wear it? And if the answers are yes, then start over. But if it's not going to bother you a few more inches in, and you're not going to even think about it ever again, then don't. Just keep going. Even if it's a drop stitch, there's a way to kind of catch it and weave it in, and we can help you with that. A lot of times, it's not going to bother you. It's just fine. You'll never notice it. So don't let perfection be the enemy of enjoying your own knitting. So a lot of people from our first video have been asking us more, and Susan says she'd like to move away from acrylics. So here's what I want to say about acrylics. I think they absolutely have their place. We are not a snob about that. We do not have them here in our store because we can't compete with the stores that do sell those. But they absolutely have their place for items that need to be loved and washed a whole lot, and somebody that's not going to take care of it while they're washing it. and all of that. Absolutely has their place, but I get it that Susan wants to move away from them. If they have no bounce, no give, they're really not enjoyable to work with, and you're not going to have that sense of aligning yourselves with working with hand-dyed yarn that is just made by another lovely person. And so Susan also asked if we would have pattern suggestions for crocheters, and we do. I'll admit we have more knitters. I do knit more than I crochet, but I do crochet. And for every curated box that we send out, we have at the ready a crochet suggestion to work with the indie dyed yarns for our crochet friends. And Mary says she has trouble reading some patterns, and so that they don't end up looking like the picture. And she often, I'm going to use this word, my word, not hers, she goes rogue to create something out of great yarn. Well, I'm going to say, you go, Mary. Absolutely. Make it your own. Don't get attached to what that picture looks like. A lot of times our own body types don't even look like what's in that picture. So I find that once you move away from what the picture looks like, you're going to enjoy your project a whole lot more. But we're also here to help you read some patterns when you have trouble. In my next video, I'm going to share more about the experience others have had with our Fuzzy Goat projects, especially our premier curated box, our Fuzzy Fix. So scroll down, leave a comment about what a curated box from Fuzzy Goat with indie dyed yarn and the pattern selected specifically to work together, what that would mean to you. I would love to know.